episode of A Drink from Upstream. Thanks for joining me for this. And today we're going to be in the second letter to the Corinthians. So New Testament, the Apostle Paul's writing to this church in Corinth that he has a deep relationship with. He loves these people. He's led them for quite some time now, and he's very concerned about their well-being. And in the opening chapter, though, he really shares some personal stuff, things that he's experiencing himself. He explains or describes God as the Father of mercies and the God of all comfort, who comforts us in all of our afflictions. And part of that comfort from God is so that we can comfort one another. So that's kind of the basis of which then he says what I'm going to read today and talk through. So starting in verse 8, it reads like this. I'm looking down because I've got my Bible down here. For he says this, "For we do not want you to be unaware, brothers, of the affliction we experienced in Asia." So I'm really glad that he's willing to share his personal challenges with the people that he's leading, because it sets an example for all leaders to be transparent and to make sure they remember that they are part of the flock of God, part of the people of God, and not somehow set apart from it. And so that's really important for us. So he says, I don't want you to be unaware of the afflictions that we experienced in Asia. Then look at this. "For we were so utterly burdened beyond our strength that we despaired of life itself." Now that's pretty heavy, right? That's the affliction that he's experiencing makes him feel as if it's so difficult that he thinks that he's going to die. And it's so utterly burdened beyond our strength. You know, we've got this notion in our world that says that God won't give you more than you can bear. That actually, this text here shows us that that's not actually true. He regularly gives us more than we can bear. And notice, let's go on and we'll see why that is, right? So verse 9, "Indeed, we felt that we had received the sentence of death." So in fact, they thought they were going to die. And then he says this, "But that was to make us rely not on ourselves, but on God who raises the dead." So they're going through these great afflictions. And he mentions in Asia. And so this would go back to probably Acts 19, where he's in Asia. There's this silversmith named Demetrius who has started this riot, and they're being persecuted and talked badly about, and just lots of challenges there. And so they figured they were going to die in that challenge. But Paul says he understands. He has the spiritual maturity and foresight to realize, even while he's going through the affliction, that it's got a purpose in this, and that it was that God would see them through it, that God's strength would be seen through it, because it's beyond what their strength was capable of. And then verse 10, "For he delivered us from such a deadly peril, and he will deliver us. On him we have set our hope." But that's key, friends. On him we have set our hope. Not on our own strength, not on our own ambition, not on our own accomplishments, not on our own ability to try kind of tough it out, but on him we have set our hope that he will deliver us again. Verse 11, "You also must help us by your prayers, so that many will give thanks on our behalf for the blessings granted us through the prayers of many." So that last part we'll touch on in just a moment. But you get this sense that, to use a popular phrase today in today's world, and especially today's Christian culture, you get the sense, though, that the Apostle Paul is not living his best life now. They're going through severe trial, great affliction, to the point that they think they're going to die. But he has the understanding that it is so God's strength will be seen through it, that God will be the hero of their story, and so they set their hope on God. Now, here's what I would encourage you to do by way of application. So grab my Bible again. So when he says that he wants them to be aware of the affliction that they experienced in Asia. So by way of application, if you, for yourself, replace the word Asia with whatever it is that's afflicting you right now, right? For you are utterly burdened by fill in the blank. What is it that's utterly burdening you right now? What is it that's turning you inside out, that's causing you to fear, that's causing you to doubt, that's causing you to want to be reclusive, run away, etc., etc.? It's beyond your strength. And at times you feel like you are despairing, even of life itself. But don't forget verse 9. That was to make you rely on God who raises the dead. You do not need despair. You don't have to despair because God raises the dead, right? Even if you're despairing of a life, God raises people from death, right? So you can rely upon God, just as the Apostle Paul did. Now, the other thing I want to say about this is this whole idea of partnering up with people in prayer. So Paul's sharing this because he says you need to help us by your prayers. And so I'm going to encourage you, whatever it is that's causing you to be utterly burdened, would you share that with somebody? Not in a way of just kind of crying in your soup, but in a way of saying, I need you to partner with me in this. I'm feeling very burdened. I'm feeling very afflicted by this. So I need your help. Would you pray with me? And ask them to do that. I think that's a good move forward for you, friends. So there you go, a drink from Upstream.